I
You
just want
first.
to clear things out. Both streams. This is not criticism, like negative criticism. This is not a hateful thing towards Sabi or or let alone the entire development team of Outcome Memories. We just
And
wanted to
then,
give our official statement because we have not came out and said anything about it because we normally don't stream much often anymore, and we should, and we're planning on streaming the popularized game called Sonic.exe Outcome Memories. But
also, um, now, since, is your intro over?
yeah.
Alright. I am also here to discuss the exact same topic, just, I don't, nothing against the dev team at all. Like, this is, I'm willing to be speaking what I feel is the truth about the dev team, but nothing that's going to be, it is going to sound a bit disrespectful, but I'm not going to try to put it in that light. I want to speak with clarity and truth, not with hate and violence.
so
So would
once
you?
again on both streams, my stream and Goatboss's stream, we do not condone the hate that the development team is getting of the Discord server, nor the Outcome Memories uh, developers. And we strongly advise you not to hate on Sabi, PR, and other people. This is just our own opinion, our own statement. And this is, like I said, this is going for both streams. I'm talking for both streams. I'm talking for me and Goat Boss. But for what I've seen right now,
All right.
things are
Let
not
me
looking too good.
let me
And
stop.
you, dude, by the way, you can interrupt me. I honestly don't care. This
Okay,
is a
okay. Let me stop
statement.
you right there, real quick. Um, we're going to start with the current controversy, obviously, and then from once we talk about the dev team and their actions, then we'll move on to the current state of the game and the future of it. What we think the future is going to end up being.
And we could have two completely different opinions on what the future of the game is going to be. Let me
Then
just point
that's
that out.
why
So this is
I'm going to let
just
you go
completely
first and
statement
let you
wise.
talk about what you want to talk about.
Okay,
I
so
may
what
add
I
in
what I mainly
occasionally.
what I mainly want to talk about is the document that just came out, I think
Yeah.
about an hour or two ago.
And
It was a
I
Google document
haven't.
that was introduced from PR, posted it on the official Outcome Memories Discord server, and the points of interest in the document is Alat's correcting falsehoods, dispelling rumors, clarifying the truth, why Raven left, January 11th, Astronova and Raven, and their own statement. Now, from reading, at least I'd say 10% of the document or whatever you want to do. By the way, I want to point this out. The document is 35 pages long. So it is a long document. They are taking this seriously. And if you guys don't know, Sabi is in a very bad mental state where he can't even look at Outcome Memories right now. And after that department, that temporary department, PR, no, Romeo, wasn't it Romeo?
Yeah,
Romeo
Romeo.
announced that they are shelving the game for all of the development team to get a break to mentally like get a comeback. Obviously, it's not going to stop our love for Outcome Memories. It is a fantastic game in general. We'll never stop loving it, nor will we ever hate it. But the state of Outcome Memories right now, it's all right. The game itself, there's still some bugs in there. Obviously, there's still going to be bugs, but the dev team is in complete shambles. Absolutely in shambles. So, so, by the way, we're not going off of a script or anything. The only thing that we're looking at is the document. And I'm going to be completely honest. Things are not looking good for the development team. I do have high hopes that the development team will come back within the span of 4 to 7 months, for the most part. That is my rough estimate. There could be a complete difference between Goatboss's statement and my statement, but I don't really think it's going to be a complete difference. I think it's going to be similar statement wise. Um, Goatboss, if you want to jump in at any time, feel free to. Like, you
I
don't
was
need
just
to
gonna
you
wait
don't.
till your part was over, and then I was gonna make comments on what you said.
So real quick, I just want to point this out. Um, hmm, hold on, I'm trying to find it real quick.
Also, the reason why I'm not there is no gameplay right now, no gameplay footage that I'm showing right now, is because I'm still reading the document. It's a long ass document. I'm still reading it, trying to soak in all the information. I'm reading it as fast as I can.
All right, so if any of you guys um watched a lat uh Altaz's video on her perspective of the development team, um PR and Sabi, just a bunch of people said that in the video she gets many details wrong and provides highly inaccurate look into the development of Outcome Memories. They might have misproperly spelt that, reworded it, but I'm assuming they meant information. It is an important note that Altaz was not a regular developer on the team. She was never even met. She has never even met Raven personally. Everything he had to go off was completely on secondary accounts, leading to important details being misrepresented or completely fabricated. Now, on my point of view, it seems like Altaz is trying to do some part of manipulation of some sort, like small manipulation, trying to make the community be on her side more than it is on the entire development team. That's my perspective. I would like to hear what Goatboss's perspective is on that too.
I
Hopefully, he
will
has the
add on
same
to
thing.
that. I what
Hopefully
I
he has
feel
the same
is
thing for me.
what I feel is that there's bullshit amongst everybody because multiple things were said, different things were said, conflicting things were said. There's just amongst all the bullshit, I think everybody's somewhat in bias in the entire development team.
Which
So what I like to do is just read in between the lines, siphon out I find out the information that doesn't make that contradicts, and then try to sort it out in a way that creates a story down the line. And once Braden's done talking about his side of things, then I'm going to talk about my side of things.
So, I want to add things onto his part. I do agree about what he says. It's like everybody's biased against each other. Everybody has, they point out, in my opinion, I think they might point out the more bad side of everybody instead of all the good side of everybody, which I don't really like. But I'm not going to go into details about my personal life, but I will say that there is somebody who basically has a he is in my school. Um, he's been making up lies, saying he got shot in the leg twice. He owns a scat pack. He's just trying to fit in, and in general, nobody likes the guy. Like everybody despises him. The teachers don't really like him, and that is depressing. That is sad. I feel like the teachers basically pity him because he acts that way and he gets a bunch of hate for it that he deserves, but he doesn't feel like he deserves. Anyways, enough from my personal life. We're going to go back to outcome memories. So another thing to add is they said that Fleetway, it's bet you it's been a while since you've heard that name. Fleetway was supposed to be in Outcome Memories, supposedly a few days or a week or two after um the fucking hold on, let my brain try and think for a moment. It's supposed to be like a week or two after version point 2 comes out. But it's been, I think, 2 months now. Am I right about that? Am I right about
About
that?
2 months out since what? The
Since they
update?
said that they were going to add
Ad
Fleetway.
Fleet.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it was definitely a bit, maybe even a bit over 2 months.
that's what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was.
yeah. It was
That's what.
definitely over 2 months. It was about 3 months because this all kind of started around October when it was supposed to originally release.
4 months. So yeah, it can be. Understandably, it is difficult for them to try and multitask into school and just everything in their life. It's just hard for them. I really do get where their standpoint is right now, but I feel like some part of the party can do better and some part of the party cannot. But that is my own uh, unprofessional standpoint. But if Isaiah has anything to say, feel free to.
All right. So may I go on to my side of what I think?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll start all the way back to the beginning of where I think this all started. What I'm going to do is just say the story that I think happened within the dev team that eventually led up to this moment. The first where it all started was back in October. Over where the delayed releases and all the hate started getting to him from the outcome memories community, which I do not
I feel
condone the
like
hate,
I feel like
but
I feel
it
like the
wasn't
hate
super
was like
bad
way
then.
before. I feel like the hate
Oh no, the
was
heat
like
was definitely a little bit before, but it wasn't nearly as bad. It started scaling. That's when it started scaling badly. That's when all truly started. It
keep in
was back
mind
in
this
October.
game Outcome Memories is turning 3 years old today.
Mhm.
If you guys don't know what Outcome Memories is, like I said, it's a Roblox game about Sonic.exe. It has really high graphics, might I add. For a bunch of teenagers, they did a really good job
Mhm.
in development of the game itself. But
I
the
can agree with
bugs,
that statement.
the bugs, the game in some parts is just made poorly. Um, Tripwire, or a lot of people would like to say Tails Doll, is extremely overpowered. The
Yep.
there can be a total of
But
10 mines, and I think each mine does like 30,
Brayden.
30.
We'll get to that point. I'll get to that point in a second. We'll discuss it then. But
Just,
right now, I want
okay,
to
so right
discuss.
now I'd say just
Well, let's get
explain.
back on topic.
I would
All
just
right.
say
So, like I said, it
explain.
was started all back in October. That's when the dev team started going into shambles. The update was being delayed. It was reasonable because that was just it was starting to get close to the end of the quarter by then, the school quarter. So I was like, okay, maybe there's some work to turn in and whatnot. So I thought, understandable. You're delaying the game a bit because schoolwork and whatnot, stress from the community. It's all very hard to maintain and
And
do.
understandable. I could understand why they're having a bunch of
Yeah, I
stress.
understand that as well. And then later on, during more towards the release, the very scuffed, really well, not very scuffed, but the scuffed release of version 2. Once the scuffed version of version 2 got released, it started getting worse, much worse, because shortly after, we hear news about relationship issues within the dev team itself, which is not good.
I don't
Specifically,
specifically. I think it's
they.
Astronova and PR or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, I forgot. Before what I was about to mention, there was the Astronova situation where
So
they kind of
just
got mixed
I
around.
want to say
Oh
this
no,
real
that's the
quick.
one that we need to be talking about. Hold on.
Real quick, I
Um,
just want to say I don't want to go into much detail out of due respect for their privacy. All I'm gonna say is Astronova and PR just had a bunch of relationship issues uh
it
including a
was a
bunch of
bit
other
more
people. It
in depth
was
than that.
but that's all I'm gonna say about them
I would like
out of
to
due
elaborate a
respect
little bit on
for
that, but like
them. I'm not gonna go
yeah,
into
and out
any
of due respect for
detail.
them, I'm just going to talk a little bit about it, but I'm not going to fixate on it.
I'm only going to go into detail about the current situation, about what they're actually posting.
I am going to go into current detail about your current situation eventually, but currently I want to discuss the stages that led up to this. So
Yes.
currently, Astronova situation. Most of us heard about it. They tried doing a relationship known as a polymorphous relationship that involves multiple people. They went in seeking. This is just my opinion, though. This is just speculation. They just. My theory is that they went in seeking love. Stuff got complicated, and it ended in a disaster.
Not making a
So,
joke, by the way. Not making a
yeah,
joke
not
about
not
the
making a joke,
game,
not alluding
not
to
making up the
not.
original Sonic.exe, the disaster. Rest in peace, by the way. That game was a really good
Yeah,
game. Lasted
but
5 years. I'm honestly surprised.
yeah,
5 years?
but
Wait, really? God damn.
yeah, it was in 2020, man.
Released in 2020 and it got shut down in like August of 2025, didn't it?
All right, now driving back on the topic. So yeah, the only time I would even recommend a polymorphous relationship because is with your all fuck buddies.
Yeah, if you got like
That's when I would that would
if you
be
got one of
when
those
I
like
recommend
anime
it.
relationships where two people like one guy and they all
Yeah, I
agree
get
to have a
it.
poly relationship.
Yeah, polymorphous relationships in animes is nothing like how it is in real life. Like
Yeah,
I know
like I know
exactly what you're
that. I
talking
know
about.
that. I was
I'm
just
just letting I know you know that. I'm just
I was
trying
just
to
putting
explain
that
it to the
spitball out there.
public.
Just putting that spitball out there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, polymorphous relationships, you don't I mean, you may that going in there looking for love originally, but that's not how you'll end up finding it. Sorry to tell you guys, but sad it's just the truth of reality.
Unless if you're in
And
some
you
sick
on
love
past
relationship, which
on
I'm not
to other
I'm not
topics. I was
against
just
poly
explaining the type of
relationships.
I'm not against them either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against them either.
In fact,
I just don't
in my own
recommend it.
opinion, I think they're cool as fuck, not gonna lie.
Like I said, I don't recommend it, but anybody can do what they want to do. It is not my seat to
Like I said,
judge
it
other
is
people's actions unless they are deliberately like downright evil. For instance, child murder. But that has nothing to do with Astronova or any of the people there. I have to clarify that because that was just an example,
I
but
thought
they didn't do any of that.
for a moment I thought you were trying to refer Epstein for a moment. I was about to be like,
I
yo,
was going to, but that would sound much worse, and I wanted to put it in a lighter way, like a better example.
how about kidnapping?
Then, I mean, kidnapping would have also worked, but like that's the first thing that
Child
came to
murder,
mind.
man? Come on.
I mean, that was the first example that came to my
20
mind.
minutes in the statement and we're talking about child murder. Completely unrelated, my man.
It is completely unrelated, and like I said, this has nothing to do with Astronova or any of the other dev team. This was just used as an example.
Real quick, I
And
just
I,
want to just throw this complete airball out here real quick. I'm gonna let Goatboss explain the current situation of what he read on the document. Like I
I'm
said, I'm
getting to
not
that.
like I said, but respectfully, I'm not gonna read all that. And on another note, I'm gonna go make food. I'm gonna let him explain it on both sides, my stream and his stream. So I'll be right
Alright.
back.
Alright, so I haven't completely read the document yet. Currently, I'm still in the middle of reading it, but I've almost read it. I'm almost past the controversy part, so before I get to that part, um, the events that happened after the Astronova situation. What I assumed happened was that there was residual energy within, like residual hate and violence within the dev team that they just sought to just hate each other. The only reason why I think they're still okay, wait, I'll get to a point later. Like I think this residual energy is then what led up to the more recent stuff, like the videos that came released, all the confusion within Outcome Memories itself with different announcements, both all of them kind of contradicting each other. And then eventually all the documents that were talking about all this bullshit. So in other words, it was all just a bunch of bullshit. And what I think is I just gotta read in between the lines of everything. Gotta sort everything out, sort out all the bullshit. So I think it's happening now is that residual energy from those past relationships is all been stacking up along with the hate against them in the community, which I'll admit is partially their fault. I say that because they knew the hate was happening, but they kept on responding to the hate. And it just created a massive pool of hate. It was just stacking pile on pile on pile on top of each other, creating a very hateful community. That's why if I ever created a game, I'm not gonna do that. But that's for another time. Now, it's just the hate, man, piled up, destroying the dev team itself. And we get on to today's document about everything. Currently, I was reading the part about Raven, and how much of this is true? Don't know. I'm just reading it to read it. And currently, I'm on the January 11th. I've not heard of this. Oh, after facing backlash for his video statements about Raven. Okay, so this was about the video. I haven't watched the video myself, but I don't need to. It's clearly biased based off of what I've heard about it. And it likely is just purely bias because there's just a lot of bias. Oh my gosh. Ugh. So now they're trying to cover up. Welcome, the person that joined a little bit late. Oh, there's a comment. You might want to rewind a little bit because I'm in the part where I was talking about what led up to the dev team falling apart. Or, but I need to go to my live because I wasn't actually expecting anybody to join. Bruh. Okay. Never mind. It's just Brayden. Time to roll on with it. Alright. So yeah. Apparently, I'm on the part where the Raven Bonely situation now of the document. January 11th. Where some stuff was bullshitted, some stuff is still bullshitted, just more bullshit. So I'm just going to skip past the bullshit part. And then there's the rape/SA bullshit. Wait. Appended randomly at the end of alt stock were okay. Well, I don't trust alts because it sounds like has a lot of bias. I know they all have a lot of bias, so I'm reading this with I'm trusting all of this with a grain of salt, including the video, which I might watch just to see how biased it is, but kind of judging how things are going, everything's just bias. So it's just coming that questionable things regarding race. So they were completely real. Okay, so these chats apparently were absolutely real. They were apparently real. They were shedding light over Raven until this point. This point about until they got to the rape part. So apparently that is real, apparently. But like I said, I'll take this all with a grain of salt. I'm not sure what it is, but judging how he was glazing in a good way about Raven through like pretty much a majority of the document, I might be willing to trust this more than the other parts of the document. And so still, I would take this all with a grain of salt. So, obviously, the messages that were absolutely fucked up were removed. So, I'm going to go down through here. With the screen. Other than hating Raven and apparent, like I said, apparently real. I read a bit. Obviously, I just read a bit more, and apparently, well, that don't make any fucking sense. like I said, I'll take this all with a grain of salt. I don't make no fucking sense, man. How are they adding up with the rape allegations and, well, the rape and sexual assault support allegations and shit? So I'm adding up here. The math ain't mathin'. So not only is this document contradicting itself, so because I believe it mentioned earlier in the document, if I recall correctly, I'll go back and see if I can find that part, just in case my memory might be a bit off. Sometimes I forget details. Everybody does. Though, if I recall correctly, there is a contradicting statement within the first part of the document. Claim about questionable comments or completely taken out of context. Yeah, I was right. This statement that was just issued then was contradicting the thing that was discussed in the beginning of the document. Wow. That's definitely not a clear sign of bias going on and lies. So some bullshit is going on here. So what I'm going to do is just skip past all the bullshit. Obviously, I read through pretty much all the bullshit. Yep. Yeah, we get it. But remember, we gotta remember, this dev team is filled with children. They're definitely wildly immature. Don't get me wrong, I'm also a minor, but but yeah, I'm obviously just still a minor as well. But there's just some decisions that are very questionable amongst the dev team that they have made. Yeah, yep. Alright. Now that we've gotten that over with, on to... Is Outcome Memories canceled? Simple answer is no. I knew that part. So they say they quote-unquote shelved the project. We're gonna go move on from the controversy, now onto the current state of the game, and then into the future, and then possible outcomes. That was not supposed to be a pun for outcome memories, but outcomes of the stuff that's going to be happening in the future. But currently, moving on to current state of the game. The current state of the game's not bad at all. I love this game, and I always will. But there is still some very important issues that need to be said about the game. First one, Tails Doll. Bloody Tails Doll. We'll move on to Colossus, you're next. But Tails Doll, you're right now. I think the proper nerfs that need to be brought to Tails Doll is limit him to 5 mines and make it to where he cannot place right on top of the exit. Also, add attack speed variations to the game. Like, make it to where there's different attack speeds to the game. I feel like that would resolve a number of issues with certain characters, like Tails Doll. His old character, although is just quick paced, quick attacking, that kind of stuff. All the characters do the same attack speed. And since although Tails Doll feels like he attacks quicker, it's probably because his abilities deal just rapid amount of damage very quickly. So what I'm thinking is Tails Doll's normal attack speed should be nerfed a little bit. To the point to where maybe if you're lucky you could get a second hit off during his attacks. Though I feel like that wouldn't really be a good resolution to that issue because it wouldn't really flow with the character correctly. But that is something that they could do at least temporarily until they can figure out the rest. But I do have other ideas for solutions. Nerf the damage for his attacks overall. Again. But the biggest thing is his mines. His laser ability is pretty good, but the mines are the main issue. What I'm thinking is limit him to 5, limit her to 5 mines. Also, I mean by Tails, I meant Tripwire. I keep calling Tripwire Tails Doll. But Tripwire definitely needs the mines nerfed. I'm not opposed against the fact that some characters are just blatantly not are just like heavily nerfed when they come across Tails. I'm not opposed against that. I feel like that's would great way to implement a character, make it to where certain characters are stronger against certain other characters, or being killers. Survivor make certain survivors stronger against certain killers, that kind of stuff. I'm not opposed against that. What I am opposed against is just Tails all being unbalanced. What I'm thinking is something along the lines of what I just said about Tails doll. Definitely less mines, or nerfed mine damage. But I feel like if they want Tails all to have 10 mines, limit it down to 10 damage. Like, I get it. You want the character to have an impact, but like, I get it. They're landmines, but it's just kind of like, come on. If they're gonna deal that much damage, at least nerf them, especially since Tails all gets 10. And even when I play Tails all, I don't end up normally placing all the mines. I don't even really go past 5. Even though I don't really play Tails all that well, I still feel like less mines would be better. Not only for just for like the average player, man. Like not even for like pro players as well. But even then, it doesn't take too much skill to play Tails doll correctly. Though I do think the laser feels all right. When I use Tails doll's laser, it feels all right. His attack speed only feels insane because his movement speed is so quick. That is the only reason why his attack speed feels greater than it is. But Colossus, though, yeah, I feel like since he's a heavier, clunkier character, his attack speed needs to be nerfed. Like, actually, like, make it to where killers have different attack speeds, like I said. Because he has that giant metal arm, and I feel like it would just be, not only will it be more realistic, it'll also make the character feel heavier. Because he's supposed to be a heavy damage dealer. That's his whole premise. And I like that direction that they did with Colossus, but here's the thing, he does too much damage. What I'm thinking is to make him feel great, lower his attack speed, and then knock damage off of his abilities. For instance, his spear is charge is fine, perfectly fine. Charge is nice. I like it. I like the way it feels. It feels great. But his grab, no, too much damage. His grab does way too much damage. He shouldn't be able to just grab me, hit me a couple times, throw me, and then, oh yeah, also, make it to where his normal attack, goes on cooldown. What I've seen is that with how they helped better fix Colossus's, charge is that after he charges and hits a wall, he gets stunned a little bit. What I'm thinking is he gets, like, slowed and he can't attack. What I'm thinking is after he grabs somebody and, like, yeets them, he can't attack for an extended period of time. I feel like that would make his grab feel more balanced. But I still do feel like it needs to do less damage. Not much less damage. At least 5 across the board. Make it do 20 damage per attack. Because I believe it does 25, if I recall correctly. At least 20 or 15 across the board. That way, he can't just two-tap you using. That way, he can't just stab you and then immediately grab you. Oh, that's the other thing. When he attacks, there should be an extended cooldown period between him attacking and then grabbing. If there's already cooldowns there, they need to be extended. In which I don't think there is, not that I recall. But that's how I feel like the character should be nerfed, me personally. 2011X, he's perfectly fine. He's nice and balanced. I love the way 2011X feels. He's great. I know not too recently he got a damage buff of 5 damage, but that's nothing. That's nothing. That's just with his basic attack. 2011, nice and balanced, like the way he is. But on to the future state of the game, which I don't have great news for. Because seeing how much the dev team hates themselves right now, like each other, and they're like so downright depressed, even within the 6-month period to a year, I don't think they're going to recover enough in order to stick around. What I think is Outcome Memories is going to die. It's going to go down into the grave, all right alongside the disaster. And there's a lot of evidence that supports that. I know what they said, that they're not going to do that. But I don't just go based off somebody's word. I go based off of what I've seen and what I've heard. And what I've seen is that their actions, combined with the contradicting words within their space, it's going to take them a while to even consider getting back. Even if they do stick around this long, my prediction is that they're not going to be back until October of next year. I mean this year, not next year. That or early January next year. One of the two. If they're not back by then, they'll be back never. But I believe that's when they'll just dismantle. It'll all fall apart and crumble. And that's my future prediction. Is that Sobi is going to come along and take down Outcome Memories. But what would give me hope if some content were going to be released for the game, like maybe Fleetway. Yes, now I'm talking about Fleetway. The character that was supposed to be done ages ago, still not here. Look, I get it. Your dev team is in shambles. You're all depressed. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, it shouldn't have ever gotten this bad to begin with. But yet again, you're all just kids. They're all just kids. They're all just teenagers. Let's be for real. They went in with a dream and a concept. And it all went to shambles because no one in there could become productive enough to work together and be stable enough once the game got popular. And it's kind of disappointing to see. As you know, it's not kind of. It is very disappointing. Very disappointing to see indeed. They decided to simply post their work, or if a creator decided to deploy an EXE, they posted their work. So, then which is it? Like, That part didn't make too much sense there. Oh, well, it says or if a well, it could be for either or reason. And then they just posted their work to fucking post their work, just in case it does go to shambles and it does get canceled. As in, not even the dev team itself is confident that they're gonna stick together. Like, let's be for real. This game is not gonna last that long. I was hoping it would have lasted until at least version 3. That was my original prediction back in October. My prediction now, not even 6 months. Not even then. 3 months. 3 months in, and then, boom. They're gone. That is my prediction for the future. Is that everything is gonna go to shit. And eventually Sobe's gonna take down Outcome Memories because there'll be nobody to work on the game. And I'm blaming this partially on the dev team itself. And I'm blaming this on the people that hated on the dev team and just added fuel to the fire. Well, technically, both of them added fuel to the fire. Well, technically, the Outcome Memories dev team fed the haters the fuel that they needed to destroy Outcome. So it's both of them that were that collided together that caused the destruction of Outcome Memories. And it's very, very sad to see that Outcome Memories has gone down this path. But that's pretty much my thoughts on the situation. But onto the far future. Do I believe a game like Outcome Memories will come and rise back up again? At some point. Maybe by someone else. Maybe by somebody. Maybe. But if Outcome Memories does go down the shithole, I know nobody's going to be watching the stream here later anyways. And I think my game just crashed. Oh wait, Brayden sent something more. I mean, Orange sent something more. Yep, it just crashed. Goodbye. Sorry, chat. Game crashed. But as I was saying, do I believe another OM game will come arise? Short answer is yes. But here's the thing. After Outcome Memories does inevitably get mited by Sobe, which I fully believe has happened, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to restart the project. Take off where the developers left off. Do I believe I'll be able to get the code? No. Do I believe I will be able to recreate it? Likely, but obviously it'll take time. Am I going to attempt it? Yes. But that's only because I'm going to end up being a game dev in the future. So I'm going to use it to practice 3D modeling. you know. And then other killer games that could be a temporary alternative to my beloved Outcome Memories. Well, there's some killer games that are going to be on the rise. Besides, Dimensional Collidance, Sonic EXE, the Disaster Eclipse. Besides any of those, or Sonic EXE, the Disaster Modded. Just beside any of those, what I think is that other killer games are going to take a rise, which I've already heard of some. I've actually in some discords of some. For instance, Blockbound. I believe I'm in their Discord, or I think they have one. I believe Blockbound is one of the upcoming killer games that is supposed to be Minecraft themed. It's going to feature characters like Hero Brian, the Warden maybe, Null, all like your childhood creepy pastas, all being forced in this game. And also, I've heard that Jesse from Minecraft Story Mode himself is going to be there. Yes, it's going to be default male Jesse. There probably is just going to be alternate skins for them, but I don't really need to know too much about the project. I just know it kind of exists, but I don't think there's any gameplay of it yet. Another killer game that's supposed to be released is Madness Descent and Knuckles. What it is a Dimensional Collidance styled game. It has all these characters from all these different things. But there's like Knuckles, Sonic, Shadow, Furnace, and all kinds of other characters. And it's all supposed to be the highest high graphic quality as Outcome Memories. So I'm pretty excited for when Madness Descent and Knuckles gets released. Eventually. Hopefully there's going to be some fire LMSs. I'm hoping that it's mostly based off Outcome Memories, I love me a good LMS, let's be for real. We all do. But I hope Madness Descent and Knuckles does very well upon its release. But currently, it's under development. There's some teasers out. I recommend joining their Discord server. They only have a couple. They don't even have 1,000 people yet. I really recommend that you support them. But how real is? Oh wait, I'll get on that part later. But then we'll move on. But actually, yeah. How real is Madness Descent and Knuckles? It seems pretty real. There's some models out, like genuine models for some of the characters. Oh wait, I forgot about to talk about the content. Besides just the Sonic characters, there's going to be the Warden. Obviously, there's going to be Furnace, like I said. There's going to be Bendy from Bendy and the Ink Machine, like the Ink Demon itself as a killer. Apparently, Medic from TF2 is supposed to be there, and then In from Murder Drones is also supposed to be in it, with some killers from each of the franchises listed, along with their own original killer, their own sort of EXE, which I think is really cool. It's some robot guy. And this seems like a genuine project that is going to be released at some point. And what I think I might do is just play that instead of, attempting to create a new version of Outcome Memories. I think I might just do that instead. Just deal with Madness Descent, but at the same time, a sort of remake of Outcome Memories wouldn't be such a bad idea. Obviously, I'm not going to call it Outcome Memories. I have my own name and ideas in mind, but I'm going to keep those to myself for now. You guys will hear about them once I actually get the project kickstarted and going. But I fully believe this all will fall apart. Like Outcome Memories will just fall apart. But Madness Descent and Knuckles, I feel like they could make a great replacement to Dimensional Collidance. don't get me wrong. There's not really much of a. I don't have much of a problem with Dimensional Colliders, but they're focusing heavily on skins, like super heavily. Although it's a high-rated game, there's not currently, as you can see, not very many players playing it. Why? No new killers. No new killers. No new. Not really any too much new content. It's kind of just old and stale now. It doesn't have that same feel, that same charm that OM or the Disaster have. It's not that same Sonic IP or charm. Which I feel like is going to be something similar to Bandits and Knuckles, but it's going to be much better, because I feel like they're going to consistently add new killers and characters from all sorts of franchises. And that's what I hope. On to Bite by Night. Bite by Night is one I've learned about recently, and currently it's in dev, which means they actually have like actual shit out for it, like actual playtesters playtesting it right now. Wait. No, it's currently in dev. Stated numerous reports of multiple fake games on Roblox. Oh, yeah, okay. I was looking at an announcement. Currently there's fake games of Bite by Night being released. Because obviously we have all these fakers, and then we got more fakers, you know, like EXE. But yeah, fakers of Bite by Night. But currently it's in dev. As in, I think it might be released. That was only released to playtesters. Yeah, it's still it's only released to playtesters right now. But I can get a tester application. Ooh. I might have to try to do that. I'm gonna see if I can do that. Trust, guys. Trust, gang. And if I do become a tester, I am gonna show gameplay footage. Because of course. My friend who's in the chat just messaged something. I have to go view it. I really just need to keep YouTube open. Uh, no, I want to go to my channel. Yes. Yes, the controversy, part 2. Any similarity? Oh, so this was actually somebody different. Oh, my bad. Do I think there's any similarities between the downfall of outcome memories and the disaster? To a certain degree, yes. To a certain degree, I said. But, well, the only real similarities is that they both, actually, not really. Because the way outcome memories downfall was, which is what I discussed earlier, but I'll simplify it real quick, is that the dev team, they got into fights with each other. They kind of destroyed themselves. The community did, the hate on them that they were feeling didn't help. That kind of stuff. I went in more depth about it in part 1, but not really. Although the Disaster was a great game, it went down for a different reason. Disaster's downfall was the result of them trying to profit off the game, is so I heard. That is really the only reason why companies will take down fan games, is they're trying to make dead profits off of them. That's why, if I ever plan on creating a fan game similar to Outcome Memories, it will be purely non-profit. Though I don't think donation. Actually, I don't know. I'll have to look into the legal laws surrounded by that, so then I can avoid copyright laws. Anywho, back on to long. Oh, you're little evil, aren't you? So that's who you is. Okay. So you are old friend. But yeah, if you would like, you could go view. Oh, I guess not. Then I don't remember you. No offense, man, but I just don't recognize your username. Like, no offense at all. If I don't see people for a very long time, eventually forget. Friends. Oh, little guy. Oh, yeah, cool. Interesting. Anyhow, I'm gonna get back onto a topic about the killer games that I would recommend that are upcoming. But killer games I'll recommend now? Well, Outcome Memories, of course, while it's still up. And the Disaster Eclipse. It's a pretty good one. It's like the Disaster, but there's some extra stuff added to it. But it's pretty much the same as the Disaster, the original. But as I was saying, I'm gonna go try to get the become a play tester for Bite by Night. So that's what I'm gonna go do real quick while I'm thinking about it. That should be it. Uh huh. The time zone. I have no idea what my time zone is. Wait, did it crash again? Oh no, it didn't. Oh, thank gosh. All right. Actually, I'm gonna go. I'll do gameplay in a sec. I'll actually play a little bit of Outcome Memories while I talk about stuff in a sec. Alright, I'm kind of just looking at. Also, where did the comment section go? Just appeared on me. There we go. Is Tails still classified as a sniper in the new forms of the disaster? Yes, in any new form of the disaster, Tails is still has his sniper, bruh. He's still able to snipe people, but except in the disaster eclipse, it's actually a bit more unique than that. In which, if I ever come up with a killer game of my own, I'll have to take that in notice after Outcome Memories dies. Because what they did with Tails is they gave him different modes for his weapon. And the Disaster Eclipse, which I will go show real quick, obviously. I'm going to go show a little bit of gameplay of the Disaster Eclipse as a potential alternative while other killer games similar to Disaster get released. Alright. You do have to, like, press the button, though, in order to go switch the character to character. I'm, I'm gonna play Tails next game, but mostly just to show off his ability set for this as a potential game to get into. Just in case other killer games haven't released in time. But while I'm waiting, I'm just gonna go ahead and sign up to go join the Bite by Night teaser application. Um, I would say I'm about an 8. Most of the time I'm online, and I like playing these type of killer games, so yeah, I'll give it about an 8. Time zone, that's what I was trying to figure out. I'm gonna have to mute my mic for a sec because I don't know if Google's gonna try talking to me. But holy fuck, I got great frame rate and MS? Ooh. This code is really refined then. But then it spikes as soon as you get into here, so. How refined? Don't know. But also those who have joined now or are still in the stream, I recommend going back and looking at part 1. Because part 1 is where most of the discussion is. This is mostly just future. Like the stuff that I'm talking about into the future. Oh wait, I should probably just show off some gameplay while I speak. That would be intelligent. And it's already over. But also there's some other unique functions and interactions with other characters. As you can tell, obviously there is Sonic. It is incredibly warm in my room, but that's unrelated right now. We don't want AFK. We want to play Tails. Just to show off what I mean by his switching ability. Like, you can switch his weapon to different modes. I'll show that off right now. Oh yeah, I forgot Metal Knuckles existing. As you're about to see me play as horrible as an ostrich without a head, but that's because this is just a small demonstration. Okay, okay, cool. What the fuck is this soundtrack? What happened to Italy? They changed it. It's no longer Italy. Exactly. It is structured very similar to the structure. Though there is the models are slightly higher quality than the disaster. But yeah, as you can see, there's a switch mode right here. There's energy ball, blast, laser, that kind of stuff. I'll show that off right now. As you can tell, this is probably like the typical laser from like the original disaster. And then there's energy ball, which I'll show off in a sec. If I remember right, there's no stun stacking, according to my knowledge, yet. Don't know if they plan on adding it. But... oh yeah, right. It does that. And then there's Blast, which is like a shotgun. Which you'll see here shortly. But yeah, these maps right here are the exact maps from the original disaster. And that's all I really wanted to show off was that, but I'm still gonna go use some of the other abilities. I'm still just gonna play out this match. Crazy. Anyway, I'm about to go balls deep into Tails Dog real quick. Oh no, do I want to go balls deep into him, or do I just want to go almost knee deep into him? Do I go knee deep or balls deep? I went knee deep into him this time. He might try to rape me. Oh, nope, no, he's gonna leave him. But anyway, this is pretty much it of all I really wanted to talk about. But obviously, I'm gonna finish this match first. It's just a little bit of gameplay to kind of finalize everything. I messed up. Sonic's abilities are interesting, though. Oh yeah, overheal exists. Like, but Cream, like, normally heals people, but she can also overheal. You can't get me. No, 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 no.
Apologies for my departure for a long time. Unexpected events happen.
Hi.
What have you been talking about for the past 45 minutes?
I can barely hear right now.
Hmm.
Give me a sec.
Did you basically explain everything?
Tails Doe Ow, ow, owie, 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 ow, 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 ow. And this is going to be the end of stream, guys. Actually, wait, after this match is completely done with. And then I'll announce it.